Of our personnel on offense, I think we got some really talented kids. I've watched every game from last season, and then I've also watched a couple of scrimmages from last fall because I was looking to watch Jeff throw the ball, I was looking to watch Jimmy throw the ball. And they were in some scrimmages last year, so I've watched those. But I've been really impressed with our top wide receivers. I think we got some depth, probably too deep at each position. We have some kids that are really fast, and then obviously we have a kid coming off an injury that could be special for us. I think we have depth at tight end, and I think we've recruited well. The previous staff recruited well at tight end because the three kids that I see that are coming in I think are very talented kids, guys that could be real matchup problems.
You're talking about incoming freshmen?
Yes, sir. The guys that are coming.
What about the ones that you'll have in spring?
Those, I think that they're talented. There's two of them that are big on the ball tight ends. And then there's other two that are more off the ball, fullback type bodies, guys that will motion around in the backfield. So I think it's a good mix of guys.
Quite available?
He'll be available some, but he will not be in full workouts during spring.
Garrick, how do you treat Mike Dudak, who's coming off the injury last year? Do you treat him any differently, or do you see how the progression of the injury is before you make that final assessment?
Well, nowadays the rules allow you to watch him train, and we've seen him run. He's back, 100% running and cut and make his moves. I remember him from high school, so I know how explosive he is. But we'll take care of him, and make sure that we don't wear him down. But he's going to work. He's got a lot of work to do to get better. You got to get better every day, regardless of how good you are. And I know that his attitude is great. And since I've been here, and I expect him to really be charged up to get on the field.
What does it mean to have an experienced quarterback?
It's always a good thing to have an experienced quarterback. Wes gets compared to, with my conversations, to Ryan Mallett a lot. I think because they're both really tall, they have really strong arms. But the comparison goes deeper to me because Ryan was a heavily recruited kid, went off to college at a big program, played as a freshman, then transferred back to Arkansas, where it was his home. Same type of situation has happened with Wes. They both have quick releases. They're both very intelligent players. He's a really fast learner. He understands how offense works, how to call plays, how to see defenses. So I think their comparisons are a lot more than just being tall and being able to throw the ball.
Have you been able to meet with them?
Yeah, the rules allow you to have some meetings, with the kids each week. So we've done some meetings where we've been grinding, getting ready for spring ball.
When you look at the drop passes last year, you said you watched the game. What was the basis for that? What was the reason for all the drops?
I mean, it's a lot of things that the players would say that the wind's blowing too hard. But it's a lot, throwing and catching the ball is a lot of concentration that goes on with that. It's being comfortable in your own skin, having enough confidence to catch the ball in traffic and really trust your hands. So there's a lot that goes on with, with throwing and catching the football. What we got to do is build more confidence so they are confident in themselves and understand they do have the skill set to catch balls.
What are the expectations for players as you get ready for spring practice this week?
To show up with a great attitude every day. That's number one. Really want to be a fast learner and really want to get coached because we're going to coach them hard. We got a lot of catching up to do in a very short period of time. But the first thing is just show up with a great attitude every day.
You talked a little bit about Wes. Talk about the other guys at that position.
Yeah.
What you know about that.
Well, I think Chase is a big, athletic kid. Can really run. I watched him. I think the first drive of the second half against Purdue. Got a good drive. I watched him late in the North Carolina game, run the ball in the end zone on a drive. And then Jimmy, Jimmy's just a great kid, very talented, very competitive. We watch him in workouts and he wants to be in front of the line. He's a very fast learner. Jeff, I watched Jeff in the scrimmage last fall, right out here on the game field, the night scrimmage. Just his ability to snap his wrist and the ball comes flying out of his hands, is really important. And then Eli, I talked with Eli last year some in the offseason. about recruiting. So I was, familiar with Eli. I think he's a very accurate passer. He has rhythm to his drops, and he understands timing of the passing game. So we've been around him a lot now. They've done a really good job, getting around, us trying to get to know each other as fast as we can.
How has the experience been coming for you?
It's great. Yeah, it's great. I'm really excited, to be in the Big Ten, which is where I started. Offensive coordinator in the Big Ten. So it's an extreme challenge that we're looking forward to getting out on the field, getting going. All right. All right.